Hello, and welcome to the Foresight Scrolls Channel. Here we examine charts and trade setups based on the Foresight Suite for Tradingview Indicators. We take a look at indices, stocks, cryptos, and commodities. If you want to take a look at something specific, just drop it in the chat. If you're unfamiliar with the suite and the indicator functions, you can watch the demo video on our channel, or you can also go to ForesightScrolls.com where you can check out the suite itself. That's where you can get access to the suite too. You can get into the Discord there, and even if you're not looking to purchase the suite, you can get into the Discord as well, just not into some of the private signal channels there. All right, each day we're going to take a look at four things, unless someone drops into the chat and wants to look at something specific. Each day we want to look at an indice, particular stock, Bitcoin, and an additional crypto, perhaps a commodity at some point. I wish I would have planned on one of those for today, actually. We'll shoot for that on the next broadcast. So today we're going to take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial. We're taking a look at DIA. So a lot of times with the indices, you are trading ETFs. So those are available on whatever you buy and sell on. Most people nowadays I assume are trading on Robinhood, except if you're a little bit older, then you're on some other platforms. What we notice about the Dow Jones, along with the NASDAQ and then also the S&P 500, is that after this huge sell-off from the tariffs, well, there was going to be a huge sell-off. The tariffs just happened to be a part of that story. Back in April, that we've been in this slow grind upwards. It's a very, very, very unnatural movement. This thing has been just dying for a pullback for quite a while. And what we can see, so by the way, if you're not familiar, what you're seeing here on screen, these are some of our long and short signals, and you can see they're built in this really robust mathematical way. We're really, really proud of them. We use them personally ourselves, which is, I think that's the proof in the pudding right there, is that if somebody's has something to offer you, do they use it? And we use this. As a matter of fact, we didn't set out to sell this. We set out to build something for ourselves to solve the problems that most traders run into. And one of those things is just complexity. And if you've ever used indicators before, you know that they can work sometimes and sometimes not. And then before you know it, you have a bunch of them on screen and they are in conflict with each other. So we're looking to make this simple, and we're looking to make it also enjoyable. If you notice too, on screen, the way we color our chart, and I haven't covered this yet, but the way we cover our chart's very intentional. If you know anything about color psychology, you realize that red is like a very aggressive color. It makes it sort of instigates your fight or flight system. It raises your heart rate. You feel more angst whenever you're looking at red. And it actually prevents a lot of people from being able to buy when they need to buy, because the candles are red when they're going down, and then gets them too excited when price is going up and they jump in when they should be not buying anymore. So that's a little bit about that. There are four indicators in this suite currently: the echoes of time, the flow of time, foresight, and then the mystic spell. And you can see right here I've got RSI open, and I have this open for a particular reason on the S&P. The Dow Jones, but this is exactly true on the S&P. If you look at the S&P and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, they all look very, very similar like this. And we're going to hide this for just a moment so we can really pay attention to what we're looking at here. And so what you can see is that we're getting these short signals, long signals, short signals, long signals. And we can look at this at the flow of time and tell once we broke our Genesis cross, we flipped our trend, and from that moment on in the S&P and the Dow Jones, you see that this is a clinic. We make the long call, we flip the trend, we short into the trend, we long off of the trend, we short into the trend. We have triple confluence here. So we have the Eon wave itself. We have the epoch, which was what we call this blue line. And then we have an additional long symbol from Foresight. So this is, for us, just money in the bank right here. This triple confluence that we're getting, we long off that, and so on and so forth. You can see what's happening here. By the way, if you have checked this out, if you already know about the indicators, you may be wondering, why are we getting a Genesis here? How can you get two Genesis signals back to back, or for that matter, two Oblivion signals back to back? Well, the reason is, whenever we drop below our epoch, it has to cross, the price has to reach a certain number of variables before it can print an Oblivion or a Genesis. And it just never quite reaches that. And you can tell it just like hovers right here on top of the epoch and prints another Genesis, which just means we're off to the races again. It's always a really good idea to pay attention to. And to be quite honest, it's really hard to delineate between what's the best indicator here, because they all work so incredibly well together. So you can see we get an Oblivion cross. It means we're going down. We flip the trend. And what do? We short. We run right into this as a resistance and short it again. So you can tell, even though these are two different indicators here, we're getting signals logging into it, shorting it down, so on and so forth. But I was going to say the Mystic Spell, it may very well be the simplest thing to watch and also the most predictable thing to trade. And it's not that it can't be wrong from time to time, but you can see here, you get the signals to short and we short it. You get the signals to long and we long it. And you know where to take profits, by the way. When you short here, we're just sort of shorting down into this with maybe a stop above here, just in case it breaks. It does break, we write it down. We probably take profits here when this signal prints, and then take a long off of this. So you can see it's like very consistent here. Here's one where you get a slight pullback, but you're above the wave of Eon. You know you're in an uptrend, so you know where to take profits at that point. That's another thing. I don't even think we cover this in the things that people have a problem with, which is when there are several things that people have a problem with when trading that cause them to fail at trading. And I don't even think we mention this as one of them, but this is one that people that do get in a winning trade don't know when to take profits. And that's one of the really cool things about how symbiotic these indicators are together, is not only do you know when to go in, but you know when to take it. And certainly you could have a trailing profit here in case it did hit here and break down. You could just follow it down. And so you can see we get a short signal here. It just kind of marches sideways and comes back into the wave, so on and so forth. But I wanted to show everyone RSI, especially on these indices. So in case you just happen upon the stream and that you are watching this in real time, or in the next week even, what you may really want to pay attention to is that aside from our signals here, we see we've got a short here, but you see how this is getting so tight up through here. Like our wave and price is just squeezing together, and this looks like it's starting to bend, maybe like it wants to go up. So this can certainly go up and maybe even have a big blow off top, who knows. But the thing that you should be paying attention to here, and we normally don't have RSI up, but you should always be checking it, is that we've peaked once, And then we're certainly going to get above the line here. I'm expecting it. But most likely you're going to have a divergence in RSI in price. So there's going to be more pressure to the downside. Do we roll over? No one knows. That's why our signals are the way that they are. You do not have to expect what happens. You do not have to hope about what happens. You simply follow the signals. And a lot of people out there say that. Some people do it well. Most don't do it well. But we're really, really proud of the way that we do it. Most of all because we do it ourselves and it works for us. So that's the Dow Jones. Again, it's the same on the S&P 500. These charts are almost identical between the two. So let's jump over and take a look at a stock. So we're going to look at Cisco Systems. The thing about this stock that we're watching currently is you can tell that we've ridden a wave up. We've sort of had this, if you look, this is sort of, you get sort of a triple bottom here. It's not really an inverse head and shoulders because this shoulder is below the head, but still it's sort of a triple bottom. And we got our Genesis cross. And if you're unfamiliar with that, we can take off the Foresight indicator itself and just look at the flow of time. And we can tell we're flipping trend. We have technically flipped it now. We've got a Genesis signal, and currently we are pushing up. You can tell we're going to run into some sort of slowdown here, probably with the Mystic. But you can see on the Mystic that you can flatten out for a while. So you can flatten out for a while until you get some pullbacks. It looks like it's go time here. We'll see. Right now we're in a very precarious position with the market as a whole. It's really hard to understand what's going on right now, especially if you pay attention to these indices, because they're doing something really unnatural. Just this persistent push up without a pullback. Let's move on to Bitcoin. So what we see with Bitcoin, I think on Bitcoin we don't have the Genesis and Oblivion on. There was another thing I wanted to show you about Bitcoin. RSI is unneeded there because it's not really showing us anything. But we see we flip trend. We get the Genesis signal. We're getting a short signal here, but I would caution, we have maybe the fastest signals on the market unless you work for an institution. I've been trading for quite a while now, for quite a few years. I've seen many indicators, and the way we've developed this gives us the fastest signals that we can have without just guessing, without just like guessing at any given moment what price is going to do. So we can see that our signals print and stay, meaning we're not going to repaint them. If they're bad, you will know that they're a bad call. This one right here, for instance, it printed it and went sideways and up. But I can tell you right now, that's a bull flag. Price goes up, makes a flag, that's a bull flag. It's going to go up. I knew this was bad when I saw it. But so we're not going to sell you a bunch of BS. I mean, you're just going to see what you see. These labels are going to stay. So, the odds are, based on our labels, that we're going to get a pullback here. But with how Bitcoin is moving, and we have the Mystic pointed up, it wouldn't surprise me if we stalled a day or so and then pushed up. And there's something very important here. And if you know technical analysis and charting and how to draw simple support and resistance lines, you can see that we are in a rising wedge. And a large percentage of the time, let's say about 75% of the time, rising wedges break to the downside. So my guess is that somehow we make it to the top of the wedge, and then we start going down. Now, if we break above the wedge, most likely we're going to pop up, come back and test it, and then all bets are off. If we're up here in this $130,000 range and we're still pushing up, then Bitcoin's going to be a rocket ship for a little while. But this is very important to pay attention to. So we don't have to overcomplicate it. The most important thing here is that we're paying attention to our signals, and they're keeping us structured, they're keeping it simple, and they're robust, meaning they're coded in such a way that we get very, very strong and accurate signals. Lastly, let's check out XRP today, the one everybody loves to hate unless you are a part of the XRP army. This one's been around. It's one of the. It was on the heels of Ethereum, and it was one a lot of people poured into back then. It's one that the Bitcoiners hated. The Bitcoin maxis have always hated it because it's somewhat centralized, and it doesn't seem to matter. Maybe someday it will, but right now it goes up in price and down in price like everything else. And here you're seeing, we haven't looked at it a lot, but we're seeing the echoes of time on. I've got two Foresight scripts on right here for some reason. The echoes of time are on, and this is our supports. These are mathematical calculations, not pivots. I mean, although you can see it's sort of nailed this pivot right here, but that's not what it's basing itself on. You can see down here, our support is a little higher than the pivot itself. But you can see we're putting in this really big consolidation that looks like a bull flag or a bull pennant of sorts. We recently have printed a confluence signal down here, so we have a long spell on our mystic spell. And then this white triangle means that you have some extra confluence. If you haven't watched us before, you can see we get these long spells and short spells, which are really good. See, we play out to the downside right here. But sometimes you get these triangles, and every once in a while you'll get a double triangle. And nothing's foolproof, but this just means there are more things happening here that are telling us that prices go down than at any other time on this particular indicator. And you can see here that it worked out just fine because we got this big dump. Let's see if you can enter this either on the candle itself, which is super cool because we scan watch lists intra-bar, and TradingView actually doesn't do that server side. It won't scan a watch list intra-bar. You have to set individual symbols to scan intra-bar to make an alert. It will not scan a watch list and give you a signal intra-bar. But we figured out a way to code it in to where we're able to do that. We put in a couple of extra features to be able to sort of parlay our intra-bar scan into an actual alert. So we would have entered somewhere up in here, and so you see we got, who knows where we would have actually gotten in. Let's say it was just somewhere up here around the average. That's huge. It's 17% to the downside. Odds are we would have taken, I don't know, I'm just guessing. I don't know about this trade in particular, but odds are when we hit this support and it bounced and then came over here and hit it again and bounced, we may have just taken it right there. But I think it's one of the things that I hope to do on the channel too is we want to show you the indicators every day to prove how good they really are. But from time to time, with the intention of not overcomplicating, I would like to just show you a couple of things. One, we have I don't even have to do that. You can see here we have this big pennant. So this is going to tell you where price is going. It's going up, This is a huge consolidation. Normally speaking, a move up, huge consolidation means you're going up more. So a breakout from here would probably mean you go up to this level, a little bit of a pullback, and then up. So I'd be watching that in the next few days, especially because we have this signal right here. Oh, I think I wanted to go down to the 4 hour on this guy too. This is really worth looking at. I think that it was this one that I was watching. So what you can see here is we drew this wick to wick, and these are Heikin-Ashi candles, so candles that are showing you averages. That's the way we like to do it. We want to see how price is moving candle to candle in an averaged way, so you just don't get tied up in all the back and forth of normal candles. Although if you want to trade normal candles, that's up to you. If you like to trade that way, that's okay. We sell the indicators, but all this is just education. You do you. But you can see here, we've popped above it twice. You got above it once, you closed above it. And now it looks like we might be getting a rejection here. What you can do is pair that rejection with what it looks like we're getting close to a short spell. So you may be able to have a short here. And that's another thing too we hope to find is real-time trades. We're showing you, we're not cherry picking and going like way back in the past to show you, really good trades to prove to you this is a good indicator suite. We're showing you real time because we believe in it. It's that good. We don't have to BS. We don't have to lie about it. We don't have to act like it's something it's not. I mean, you can just see the proof is just sort of in the pudding here. You just look right here. You get some signals. It pulls back into our line. It holds. It goes up. But if we were to follow this out, we get this huge down move. We get a signal, down move, another dump out, up move off this signal, down move. You got one right here that didn't play out, and then we're into another up move. So we're really looking at, and it's important to say here too, look what happens here. We have a similar situation over here, but when we get this, these are not the same signal, by the way. This signal here is a completely different indicator than this indicator down here. They are looking at completely different things. Although a few of our indicators do have confluence with each other, so they are checking each other. So that is happening, just to be transparent. But the signal itself is its own signal, and we get two. So you get two of our indicators telling you it's going down, and that's where my money's at. That's where my money's at when I've seen that happen. And you can see on the echoes of time. I mean, look, it really is amazing. It's phenomenal. We come right down into the echoes of time and bounce. And although I don't think we have a flip signal. Oh yeah, we do. It's just hiding. So we've got a confluence signal right here that tells you it's going to go up. I mean, it's like playing piano or guitar or something. We're just hitting the keys and you're getting the sound it should make. So I think that's about it for today. If you have any questions, you can reach us through the website. You can also join us back here for the next live stream. And I appreciate your time. Have a good one.